As mentioned before, Hitler spent part of his childhood in Germany, even speaking Bavarian dialect from southern Germany as his mother tongue. This became Germany's first imprint on him. Beyond linguistic connection, Hitler held deep historical and cultural identification with Germany. Historically, Germany and Austria shared cultural systems with identical language and customs. After German unification, its political power and cultural influence surpassed Austria's, fueling widespread Germanophilia there. Growing up in this nationalist atmosphere, Hitler's struggling years in Vienna intensified his German aspirations. In May 1913, Hitler boarded a train to Munich. His plan involved 3 years studying painting and architecture there, aiming for success in either field. Fate intervened when World War I erupted just 1 year after Hitler settled in Munich in 1914. The war frenzy immediately swept through Germany. Hitler's innate Germanic nationalism awakened instantly. Finding sudden purpose, he promptly enlisted with Bavarian authorities, becoming a German army soldier. This marked Hitler's transformation from aspiring artist to emerging politician. So when did Hitler fully commit to politics? The answer lies in his World War I experiences. When Germany declared war on France 2 days after World War I began on August 1st, 1914, perhaps his previous life felt meaningless. Finding belonging, Hitler unleashed unprecedented passion. He demonstrated battlefield bravery as a regiment messenger, delivering orders between positions. This extremely dangerous role had high mortality rates, yet Hitler survived 2 years before being wounded, returning after treatment. During Wunderballen, Hitler received multiple Iron Cross medals and became squad leader. On November 11th, 1918, Germany surrendered to Allied forces. Hitler had just recovered from a gas attack gun, nearly blinded and body swollen. That day, an elderly priest visited the hospital to see the still blind Hitler. The priest announced that Germany had experienced rebellion. The imperial government had collapsed, and the war must end immediately. 4 years of life and death struggle, the sacrifices of thousands of comrades resulted in such an outcome. In utter disappointment, Hitler resolved to enter politics and become a true statesman to save Germany. Thus, in the desolate rear area hospital ward, emerged the 20th century's most brutal force. Hitler transitioned from painter to politician, driven by refusal to accept Germany's defeat, vowing single-handedly to rescue the nation. The subsequent story is widely known. In autumn 1919, Hitler joined the German Workers' Party, later seizing control and reorganizing it into the Nazi Party. With extraordinary propagandist talents, he rapidly elevated the Nazi Party in Munich. In November 1923, Hitler launched the Beer Hall Putsch, announcing his presence to all Germany. However, there's a lesser-known aspect. The German military's crucial role in Hitler's political ascent. The German military establishment served as key catalyst. During WWE's final stages, the Russian Revolution stimulated German workers' movements. The old imperial government kept being overthrown by workers' and soldiers' Soviets, enraging conservative forces, particularly the military elite opposing revolution. Post-war, Hitler miraculously recovered and was recruited by the new Reichswehr intelligence unit as military political informant, specializing in investigating subversive political activities. When the German Workers' Party caught military attention, they ordered Hitler to infiltrate it with financial support, attempting to control the party and align German workers with establishment interests. Unexpectedly, Hitler quickly became the party's core member after infiltration. By March 1920, Hitler abandoned his spy role, fully committing to party activities. When joining the German Workers' Party, Hitler explicitly advocated anti-Semitism and Jewish expulsion from Germany. When queried by Education Ministry about Jewish threat, Hitler rapidly produced lengthy anti-Semitic manifesto. In the report, Hitler accused Jews of infiltrating democracy and eroding civil rights. Claiming they only valued monetary dignity, their activities caused racial tuberculosis in society. Hitler concluded that legal deprivation of Jewish privileges and eventual expulsion was necessary. Why did Hitler harbor such intense anti-Semitic? Statistics show Nazi Germany exterminated about 6 million Jews during World War II, one-third of global Jewish population. From secret arrests to industrialized genocide, the unprecedented cruelty creates an image of personal hatred. That reality differs. Hitler's anti-Semitism wasn't personal but shaped by external circumstances. Personally, Hitler lacked such hatred. Many Jews assisted young Hitler during his formative years. These benefactors were spared during Holocaust. Most notable example was his mother's physician, Dr. Eduard Bloch, a Jewish doctor. After mother's 1907 funeral, Hitler told Bloch, "I'll never forget your kindness," bowing deeply. He accompanied these words with a profound bow. In 1942, Bloch miraculously avoided persecution other Jews suffered. Bloch later wrote, "In a sense, Adolf Hitler kept his promise to me. The favors he granted me were never given to other Jews in Germany or Austria. In Vienna, other Jews helped Hitler without receiving anti-Semitic remarks in return. This might seem contradictory. If young Hitler held no animosity and received Jewish help, why later genocide? The answer lies in WW defeat and Germany's post-war collapse. As mentioned, German nationalists blamed communist revolutions for military failure. Upon closer examination of these revolutionary activities, Jewish involvement appeared ubiquitous. Germany's collapse began with the November Revolution of 1918. The initial uprising started with Kiel naval sailors' mutiny. On November 3rd, soldiers established Germany's first Workers' and Soldiers' Council, communist concepts originating from Jewish thinkers. Marx. On November 7th, Munich witnessed another uprising, seizing strategic points, forcing officials to flee. This rebellion was led by Kurt Eisner, another Jewish figure. The Munich uprising triggered chain reactions across Germany, with increasing Jewish participation. Hitler viewed these November revolutionaries as deliberate destroyers of Germany. November criminals became Hitler's label as he developed his conspiracy theory. He claimed Jews controlled European capital and governments through proxy agents. Connecting global communist movements, Hitler fearfully concluded Jews were conquering the world through communist ideology and financial manipulation. This paranoid fusion equated Jews with communism. Russian Revolution became Jewish Bolshevism. Now understanding emerges clearly. Hitler's anti-Semitism stemmed from geopolitical analysis rather than personal animosity. At August 13, 1920 Hofbräuhaus rally, Hitler delivered Why We Fight Against Jews speech. He publicly denounced alleged international Jewish conspiracies for first time, calling for united resistance to eliminate Jews from society. This speech established ideological foundation for final solution. Hitler perceived Jews as both German betrayers and global puppet masters. As architects of Germany's defeat, he deemed their eradication necessary. To fulfill this mission, he needed mass public support. How did this ordinary man with no background win German hearts? This brings us to Hitler's personal charisma. All 20th century Hitler biographers agree on his propagandist mastery, despite differing evaluations of his abilities. Hitler's rapid rise from obscurity stemmed from innate leadership qualities and unparalleled oratory skills. His connection with German Workers' Party began through exceptional speaking talent. In January 1919, Anton Drexler founded German Workers' Party in Munich Hotel as right-wing patriotic group. The party aimed to mitigate communist revolution's impact on German traditions through peaceful labor guidance. In September 1919, Hitler attended party meeting as informant, clashing intellectually with a professor. Hitler's eloquent retort and precise arguments overwhelmed opponent within 15 minutes. This deeply impressed Drexler, the party founder. Recognizing Hitler's potential, Drexler decided to utilize his talents. Soon, Hitler became party's 55th member. Immediately joining, Hitler convinced leadership to adopt mass rallies for propaganda, thus transforming debating club into activist political movement. At rallies, Hitler's raw speeches connected daily struggles to systemic causes. His trench-inspired vernacular resonated with war-weary populace. By February 1920, Hitler became party's driving force with proven strategies. Munich rally drew over 2,000 attendees. This assembly ratified party's 25-point program. The manifesto demanded Greater German Reich and Versailles Treaty abolition, saturated with nationalism and anti-Semitism. Additionally, the Workers' Party officially renamed itself as the National Socialist German Workers' Party, the Nazi Party we know. Early Nazi founders acknowledged Hitler brought boundless energy and unlimited potential to the party. Under his charisma, the Nazi Party rapidly expanded, attracting capable talents. Future key figures like Hess, Goering, Goebbels, and Himmler joined after hearing his speeches. By 1921, Hitler became synonymous with the Nazi Party. That year, he threatened resignation to establish Führer principle, leader principle within the party. From then on, Nazis swore sole allegiance to the Führer. In late 1922, Mussolini's March on Rome, seizing power, inspired Hitler. This became his blueprint. In November 1923, Hitler and General Ludendorff attempted the beer hall putsch. Armed marchers heading to Munich's government buildings were dispersed by police gunfire. The coup failed. 3 days later, Hitler was convicted of treason, while allies fled or were arrested. Nazi headquarters and Volkischer Beobachter newspaper shut down. In 1924, 35-year-old Hitler left prison. Reflecting on failure, he concluded, insufficient public support doomed the push. He resolved to seize power legally through elections rather than violence. Hitler began nationwide tours, delivering countless speeches. To gain cross-class support, he shook hands, kissed babies, and bowed to women, cultivating grassroots image. But during stable 1920s Germany, Nazi progress remained limited. By 1929, external circumstances finally favored Hitler. Wall Street's collapse triggered global economic crisis. Germany's U.S.-dependent economy collapsed, creating political crisis that demanded strong leadership. Hitler was finally thrust onto the political stage by the Times. Unemployed masses, disillusioned middle-aged men, and youthful idealists became Hitler's primary targets. The craving for normal social order boosted Nazi electoral gains. Hitler campaigned relentlessly for votes. In final 2 campaign weeks, he delivered speeches in 50 or more cities, whipping up frenzy everywhere. Major speeches required 20 bottles of mineral water, his shirt drenched in sweat. On January 30, 1933, Nazis emerged as Germany's largest party through elections. President Hindenburg appointed Hitler as chancellor. Hitler embarked on grander political ambitions. All right, this concludes the first half of Hitler's biography. Here we've traced Hitler's journey from birth to political ascent as chancellor. In the next installment, I'll explore his 12-year political career and the rise and fall of Nazi Germany. Show notes below. Until next episode.